In this video, let's discuss mutually exclusive events. So what are mutually exclusive events? If you have two events, only one of which can occur, then these two events are mutually exclusive. Let's take an example. Say you toss a coin and you have two events defined, which is getting a head and getting a tail. These two events are mutually exclusive because only one of the two can occur, right? You can either get a head or you can either get a tail. That is, they have no outcomes in common. There's nothing in common. Now, how would we represent mutually exclusive events in a Venn diagram? We would draw it like this, without any intersection, right? Because there is no possibility where both can occur together, because only one of them can occur. For example, in this case which we discussed. Now over here you can see event A and event B are mutually exclusive. Alright, let's keep that aside. Now an interesting thing that we can note over here is that, say you are tossing a coin, what is the probability to get a head or a tail? That would be the probability to get a head plus the probability to get a tail, which is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which is equal to 1. Over here we have just added the two probabilities, right? Now that is so because we know in this case these two events are exhaustive. That is, either this will happen or this will happen. Therefore it has to be equal to 1, and we were able to just add them like this because these two events are mutually exclusive. That is, P of A or B, which is the same as P of A union B, is equal to P of A plus P of B when A and B are mutually exclusive. From the diagram you can see that if you want to add A and B, you just need to add them together because there is no overlap. Now what would be the case if it is not mutually exclusive? There would be some overlap, right? Now over here A and B are not mutually exclusive. So what would be P of A union B, which is the same as P of A or B? It would be P of A plus P of B minus the intersection, right? Why is that so? When we add P of A and P of B, we are adding this intersection part 2 times. That's why we have to subtract it 1 time. Let's quickly summarize. In the case of mutually exclusive events, say you have two events, only one of them can occur. Now if you have two mutually exclusive events, P of A union B will be equal to P of A plus P of B. Let's do this question. When rolling two dice, what is the probability of getting the sum as 9 or 10? Pause the video, give it a try, and then let's do it together. Alright, we are back. I hope you have given it a try. Let's do it together. Over here, one event is getting a sum of 9, the other event is getting a sum of 10, right? Now these two events, you can note that they are mutually exclusive, right? Because when you roll the two dice, either you will get the sum as 9 or you will get it as 10. So they cannot occur together. So these two events are mutually exclusive. And we need to find the case where we get the sum as 9 or the sum as 10, right? Therefore, we have to find the probability of E1 or E2, which is the same as probability of E1 union E2. And because these two events are mutually exclusive, this expression over here is equal to probability of E1 plus probability of E2. And let's find out the probability for E1. We need to get the sum as 9 and we have two dice. So what are all the different ways in which this can be achieved? I could get 6 and 3, 5 and 4, 4 and 5, or 3 and 6, right? So there are 4 ways in which this can be satisfied. What about getting the sum as 10? I could get it as 6 and 4, 5 and 5, or 4 and 6. That's 3 ways, right? So over here the probability for E1 is 4. These are the 4 favorable events, 4 by 6 into 6, which is the total number of outcomes, which is equal to 36. And for the probability of event E2, it would be 1, 2, 3, that is 3 by 36. Therefore, the answer to this question is 4 by 36 plus 3 by 36, which is equal to 7 by 36. Let's do this question. Two dice are rolled. What is the probability of getting an even number or a multiple of 5 as the sum? Pause the video, give it a try, and then we'll do it together. Alright, we are back. I hope you have given it a try. Let's do it together. Over here, event 1 is getting the sum as an even number, and event 2 is getting the sum as a multiple of 5, right? Now, all the possible sums are the sums ranging from 2, 3, etc. up to 12, right? You get the sum as 2 if both the dice show up with 1, and you will get the sum as 12 if both the dice show up with 6. Now, let's draw these two events in a Venn diagram. That would be like this over here, right? Event 1 is getting an even number. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12 are part of event 1, and event 2 is getting a multiple of 5. That's 5 and 10, right? So 5 and 10, and 10 you can see is even a number as well as a multiple of 5. So it's a common item with respect to event 1 and event 2. So we mark 10 in the intersection area. Alright, now let's move on. What is the probability to get the sum as an even number? That would be equal to 1 by 2. Now you can either find each of the even numbers, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12, and write out all the possibilities. Out of 36 possibilities, you will see that there are exactly 18 possibilities where you will get an even number. Or you can think of it in this manner, that half of the outcomes will be even and half of the outcomes will be odd. Therefore, the probability to get an even number over here is equal to 1 by 2, right? The sum as an even number. Alright, now let's move on. If you want to get the sum as 10, what are the ways in which that can be obtained? You could get 6 and 4, 5 and 5, or 4 and 6. And what about getting the sum as 5? You can get 4 and 1, 3 and 2, 2 and 3, and 1 and 4. So there are 4 possibilities. So the probability for getting a multiple of 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 7 cases out of 37 possibilities. Alright, let's keep this aside. Now, we need to find the probability where event 1 and event 2 occurs, right? What is that? That would be the probability for getting 10 as the outcome, and from here over we have seen that there are 3 such cases, so that's equal to 3 by 36. Alright, now let me write 1 by 2 as 18 by 36 for ease of calculation. Now therefore, the answer, which is probability of E1 union E2, that's what we are trying to find out, right? It's OR, right? We need to find the probability of getting an even number or a multiple of 5. That is probability of E1 union E2. That is equal to probability of E1 plus probability of E2 minus probability of E1 intersection E2, and that is equal to 18 by 36 plus 7 by 36 minus 3 by 36, which is equal to 22 by 36, which is the answer to this question. And 22 by 36 can be simplified as 11 by 18. Alright, now over here let me quickly show you that P of E1 is really 1 by 2, right? We have taken it quickly using this logic that half of the outcomes will be even and half of the outcomes will be odd. This helps us to quickly arrive at 1 by 2. Now the longer way of finding out would be this method over here. All the possible sums are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, right? You get the sum as 2 when both the dice give you 1 and 1. And the sum is 12 when you have 6 and 6 on both the dice. Now let's take all the even cases. So 2 and 12 are even. The remaining cases are 4, 6, 8 and 10, right? Now in the case of 4, you could get 2 and 2, 3 and 1, or 1 and 3. That's 3 outcomes. What about 6? You can have 1 and 5, 2 and 4, 3 and 3, 4 and 2 and 5 and 1. That's a total of 5 outcomes. Now to easily build this, always keep 1 the same, right? Over here you have 1 and 5. and increment 1 you get 2. And how much more do you need to get to 6? You need to get more 4. What comes after 2? You get 3. And how much more do you need to get to 6? You need 3 more. So that's 3 and 3. After 3 you have 4 and you need 2 more to get to 6. After 4 you have 5 and with 5 you need 1 more to get to 6. And you don't have 6 and 0, so you stop at this point. Similarly, in the case of 8, you have to start with 2 and 6, because if you have 1 as the outcome in one die, there is no way to get the sum as 8, right? Because 1 plus 7 is equal to 8, and in a dice you cannot get 7. So the starting point is 2 and 6, and after 2 comes 3, you need 3 and 5. Similarly, you need 4 and 4. You also could get 5 and 3 and 6 and 2. That's a total of 5 outcomes. And for 10, we have 3 outcomes. And for 12, we have 1 outcome. So that's 1 plus 3, which is 4. 4 plus 5, which is 9. 9 plus 5, which is 14. 14 plus 3, which is 17. And 17 plus 1, which is 18 outcomes, where we get an even sum. And what is the total number of outcomes? That's 6 into 6, which is 36. And if you add all of these outcomes over here, also you will get 36. Therefore, the probability to get an even sum is 18 by 36, which is equal to 1 by 2.